Well, my dudes, it is a transfer special. It's everyone's favorite time of the year. Before that, though, we have an end of season review and we qualify for the Champions League group stage or not. Let's find. Here we are. End of season review. We took over, it was our first full season and I was thrilled with what we was able to do. The new arrivals. Hopefully we got some good ones here, my dudes. I think we did. I think we brought in some really solid players. I've hit new arrivals like 3 times. There we go. Okay, Ashley Phillips. They love this B plus. This guy was a stud for us. Tat, we bring in B minus there for him. Jorge a C on that one. Kind of surprised. Tom Bischoff a C as well. Ronnie Mueller a C. Cordoba a B minus. Max Norman Williamson wasn't very happy with that one, but I'm happy with it. Okay. And then Andre comes in. Wait, no, we skipped a couple. Melier C. Aspen a B plus. They love that signing. I love that signing. He was a good player for us. Smits a C. Andre a C as well. So not the greatest batch of guys, but I think these guys that we've brought in will really help out the squad moving forward. We finished second in the league. So we did get that group stage spot, which is absolutely massive. The board was happy with that. A B there. The Pokal wanted a little bit. I thought they wanted quarterfinal, so I was kind of happy with that. Don't care about that one, do we? A lot of stuff went down. Sponsorship, well, it stays the same really. Broadcast, way down. Corporate and hospitality, it goes down. Competition prize money goes up quite a bit. It makes up for that some, though. Match day, commercial, and retail also goes up. Jorge, Valentin, Bischoff, Emilio, and Melia with the top selling kits. And this is how we lined up. And yeah, I don't disagree with that, really. I like that lineup. Nino was probably the most consistent guy, even though we sold him halfway through the season. I did like him. Fans player of the season was Masquerade. Young player of the season as well. Signing of the season went to Mueller. Goal of the season, Jorge. Top goal scorer was Valentin with 16 goals. Tom Bischoff, 11 assists. Player of the match awards goes to Ashley Phillips with 5. Highest average rating, Masquerade, 7.6. Cordoba, most passes completed per 90 minutes. Things you love to see. Most goals by a player in a match goes to Valentin with a hat trick. Kind of surprised with that. Bischoff, we paid the most we've ever played for a player, 27 mil. Nino, highest seller, though, with 45 mil. Did anybody win anything? So Masquerade won German Newcomer of the Year. Lovely stuff, guys. We got to take a look at some of this. We got our values in at the last episode, didn't we? So that was nice. How much we get to spend. How much we get to spend on transfers and payroll. That was fantastic. I'll deal with that in a little bit. Club expectations and all that fun jazz. So they want us to qualify for the Conference League next year. They want us to reach the group stage, which we've already done that. So that's nice. Okay, so they want us to develop players using the club's youth system. Fine. This right here, I would like to get taken off. High tempo pressing football, love it. I'm good with this, guys. Except for let's just try to get rid of that. Huh? One more try. We'll try it till they get mad at us. Okay, sorry. That's fine. That's fine. I'm good with that. Just trying to get it changed a little bit. So what do we want to do this offseason, guys? I want to bring in a left back, right? I want to bring in a left wing as well. Those are my 2 big concerns for next season. Goalkeep, how are we looking? He signed to a couple more seasons, isn't he? Yeah. So backup goalkeep, I'm good with him being our backup goalkeep. Dahmen that being. We honestly, guys, depth. Anytime we can add a player, it's going to be nice. But we've got to look at guys that we may end up considering selling. Hoobs is wanted by Real Madrid. Wow. So that's a big Masquerade. I don't think Masquerade's going to stay with us, guys. There's too many big clubs in for him. Yilmaz, Ridvan, whatever you want to call him. It's kind of a toss-up between him and Lloyd Kelly. I would prefer to sell Lloyd Kelly because obviously you can just get a little bit more money from him, So I see one of these 2 guys leaving the club at the end of this season. Valentin's another guy that I would consider selling. He's wanted by a couple big names there. And Joran as well. Really probably sell him. I think the best thing would be to sell Valentin, hang on to Anjorin, and then sign a guy up for going over the top of Anjorin. Emilio's wanted. Who's he wanted by? Okay. I'd sell him for 38 mil. That'd be easy money. Rex will not be with the club at the end of at the start of next season, and probably the same with Uar. So, like I said, the big thing about this side this offseason, we want to sign young players preferably cheaper than what we can eventually sell them for. Kind of, just that way we can make a little bit of profit with the club. I think that's the best possible thing. But you guys can see I'm scouting a whole slew of guys for that left-hand side. And it's not really coming back fruitful just yet. I'm waiting a little bit. I'm going to see if there's anybody. One thing we could probably do, though, I typically don't do this. I don't ask the GM for help, but I might do it with left back. Okay. Yeah, 27 mil. That's a heck of a lot more than I'm wanting to spend. Same with 31 to 49. Same with 26 to 46 mil. Thank you. What about left wing? Are they going to give us anybody on left wing, or is it just going to be all left wing players that can't do what I want them to do? This is a guy that I'm interested in. I am scouting this kid. I want to see a little bit more. That 3-star right there, that scares me. That really scares me a little bit. I'm not a big fan of that. So but yeah, that really didn't help us out any. That didn't help us out any, did it? So we've got a lot of work to do this offseason. Going to be a super, super busy offseason. But one that I'm looking forward to. 3 players in. One is a prospect that I think can really develop into something special, guys. The second guy is a guy that I really like, but for some reason our scouts don't believe in him. The third, well, it's because we're supposed to sign players that are based in Germany. It's a little bit difficult. First, we have Ragon, a 2-star player that's a 5-star potential. I'm really excited about this guy. This is the one that I kind of hinted at, that he's more of the project. You see the 5-star potential, but you only see the 2-star current ability. I think he's going to be a solid player for us, though. He's got some strengths, fairly good speed. Flair looks good. Technique solid as well. I think he's going to hopefully make it into the first team at some point. We brought him in for 4.8 mil. He was playing at Boca in Argentina. Was putting out solid ratings there as well. So hopefully he can carry that form back into us. I think he's going to be probably our starting left wing at some point. The next guy up is the one that I discussed. That's more of a player that I really like, but for some reason our scouts just don't see it the same way. Van Ter, he's a 2.5-star player, 3-star potential guy right now. So far, the plan is for him to kind of be a backup left wing behind Valentin if Valentin ends up staying at the club. But I really like this guy. I see the 3-star potential, and I see the value of 10.5. We probably overpaid for him, but he's got some really good strengths. As I mentioned, speed looks good. Flair looks good. Technique looks good. Vision and work rate are solid as well. So I do think he's going to be a good player, either-footed, playing either side for us. We just got to train him over there. He also has been playing, quite a bit. Been playing for Flamengo, and he's been in the top flight of Brazilian football for the past, 4 years, and has played quite a bit. So I think he's another one of these guys that I'm really excited about. I just don't understand why the scouts don't rate him as highly as I do. The third signing is the one that I also mentioned that's more of this number right here. We got to sign players based in Germany. That's why we've signed this guy, Roy Potter, a 2-star player that has 3-star potential. He's English-born. Probably going to sit on a reserve side. Probably never see this kid, but I seen that he was English-born, so I was like, we'll throw a couple mil at him to sign him. Purchased him for 1.3 from Bochum. I do think, well, he wasn't from Bochum. Who owned you before? Was it Bayern? Looks like it was Bayern. Yeah, he was a Bayern player. So I think he's going to be okay for our reserve side. He's got really good solid finishing, determination, acceleration. I think he's going to be okay. He may end up being a third choice for us at striker. I'm not certain about that, but if we hang on to Andre and Emilio, we kind of need that third choice, and it might be him. He may be a guy that's on the senior squad that eventually stays there, but I think what it'll end up being is he's going to be a senior squad player that we use on our reserve side. He's going to be available for them as well, and more than likely, that's where all of his playing time is going to come from. We also sold a player, which really surprised me. I did not know if we was going to get that done. It's been quite a while. Lloyd Kelly goes to Tottenham for 20 mil. I mean, he's a good player, right? He really is. But we got Ridvan, who's, I feel, a solid left back. And, Lloyd, I think his contract was expiring at the end of next season. I mean, he goes into Tottenham, and he's only valued at 21 mil. So think we done pretty good business there. We have called up some players on our first team, and I'm going to have to sort through some of this because I think I am going to bring some of these guys back down. Noah, we got him transfer listed. I hope he ends up leaving the club pretty soon. Rex is another one of these guys that I want to leave. I want him to leave the club. Sasa here, I want to move him back down to the reserve side. I was kind of looking, and we got Uar right now, and until Uar is either sold or whatever, I think Uar is going to be our third choice right wing player. But other guys that we've brought up is Phillips. This guy can play as defensive mid, and more than likely that's where he's going to play at all games for us. Third choice there, make him available for the reserve side as well. I do think he can actually play there. Obviously, some of these guys may end up going back down to the reserve side depending on signings. We've brought up. Hey, I got it. I got this guy's name. This one is easy, okay? This one is easy. Not Brick. Brock. We got Brock here. Left back that can play center back. Just a little bit of coverage there. Second choice right now behind Fred Van at left back. I'd really like to bring somebody else in. That being said, Ventura can play there as well. He's more of a versatile player that can play at left back. Just can't tackle for shit, so don't expect him to do that. But Brock's right now our third choice left back, can also play as a center back at 6'4", pretty tall lad. Heading's not the great, but he does have solid jumping reach. Do think he might make it for us. I don't know. I don't really know. He's one of those guys. We brought up Karam as well. Third choice right wing at this point. I mean, he's a solid player. It's a player that I don't have to, spend money on, so maybe he can do that for us. Kirsten here, right back option for us. That's basically what he's going to be, a third choice right back behind Tat and Hoobs. So that's good. We want to end up selling Noah, as I mentioned. Is there anybody else that I'm missing? Potter, we've mentioned what he's going to do for us. Just got to get some guys in and got to get some guys out. I was a little bit nervous. Moscare was, a couple bids came in for him. Lucky for us, they didn't meet that promised 22 mil, which is just ridiculously low for me. I think that needs to be pumped up quite a bit. Unfortunately, it's what we promised him. So, yeah, not a big fan of that. I've been busy. 2 players that we've brought in that's going to be in our starting 11 most days. The third is another prospect that I think can develop into something very, very nicely. And then a sale of one of my favorite guys. It's pretty dang disappointing. First, we have Michael Clinton Opiemi. Purchased him from Juventus for 15 mil. He is a center back. Looks to be a pretty solid player. Positives, marking of 16. Got good pace, good agility, good stamina as well. Good decision making. Looks to be a solid center back. That may be a replacement for us that we have to discuss in just a little bit. But I do believe this guy is going to be a solid starting piece for us. Excited to see what the young fella can do. Up next, a new left back that we did spend a little bit of money on, 24.5 mil. Nico Takahashi from Lyon. Looks as I think he'll be our starting new left back, a 3-star player, 3.5-star potential ability. Good speed on this guy. I think his passing is a good attribute as well. He just looks like a solid player that can play down that left-hand side, which is what we really needed. And good value now after we've purchased him. The next guy is more of a third choice left back now, but a guy that I actually want to play a little bit is Ibanez, 5.5 from River Plate. A 2-star player, 4.5-star potential. Looks solid, guys. He's got to develop a little bit. He's got good speed, good natural fitness. He's brave as hell. Leadership looks good. Work rate looks good. Excited about this guy as well. I think he's going to be somebody that we can really develop and turn into a very solid piece for us. I mentioned when we was talking about Opiemi, might be a replacement. Yeah, that's right. You see it on the right-hand side. Moscare has left the club. A guy that I really did not want to sell, but we promised, if a bid came in for 22 mil that we would accept it. PSG comes in with a bid, and I get it worked up to 30 mil, so I was happy about that. No other bids really came in for him, but it is disappointing to see him leave. I thought he was a leading center back for our club. He was really, really solid. Looking at what he done for us last season, put out an average rating of 7.63. We did double our investment in him, that's very nice, isn't it? I was happy to see that. We do have a lot of money to work with. I am looking at bringing in a couple more players, maybe some young players. I'm not sure. Maybe some guys that we can add depth pieces. We're about to take a look at the squad itself and see what we think needs to happen, what young players that we brought up need to go back down. I've already done that some, and those guys have actually went out on loan, as you kind of could see. Brock goes out on loan to Hamburg. Where are they at? Are they in the Bundesliga? They are in the Bundesliga, so that's nice. He's going to get a lot of valuable playing time this season. Dominic Kraft goes down to the second Bundesliga. Excited to see if he develops a little bit for us. But that's kind of what we've done so far. But let's take a look at this. Okay, so we've got a lot of. I deselected him as my goalkeeper. Did not mean to do that. We've got a lot of guys on the squad, right? A lot of guys. Guys that we want to develop. Andre needs to take a step forward. Tat needs to take a step forward. Aspen needs to take a step forward. Emilio, Mueller, Nico, I'd love to see him take a step forward. Ridvan, we're not going to really see much else out of him. But let's take a look at this and see what guys we want to leave into the squad, what guys we want to drop back down to that reserve side because, well, it's kind of a big side. Now, the guys that stay up here that are the two-star players, they're going to be available for the reserve side, but I want them to be on the senior squad so we can, if we need them, we can use them pretty easily. I think that's the best decision. So Flipsic is one guy. What position do you? So you're a defensive mid that can play as a center back. You're the guy that I decided, hey, this guy's going to be our third choice defensive mid. So he's going to stay on the first team, right? He's going to stay on the first team. He's going to be the backup to Schmitz and back up to Cordoba, but he isn't going to be available for the second team. I want him to be able to play for them. Ragun is a guy that I'm really excited about, but he's going to be available also for that side as well because I see him being a third choice left wing player for us. Karam is a right wing option for us that's going to be behind Mueller and my boy Jorge. So that being said, you also available for the reserve side. Okay. Ibanez, I like this guy a lot. I really do, but he's going to be available for the reserve side. So I don't know if we're actually going to drop any of these guys down. I think that's the best decision to leave some of these guys up. Uar is a left or right wing option. Kind of does the same thing Karam does. But I'm not sure on this kid yet. I'm really not. He's got some really good ability. I mean, looks solid. But what do we do with him? Is he wanted by anybody? He's not wanted by anybody. So that means going to be available for the reserve side as well. But we'll probably stay up on this team as well just to see. Just to see. It's going to be kind of between him and Karam on that right-hand side. I believe Uar actually is a little bit more what we want as an inverted winger besides Karam. Karam's not really that good at that. So there was some offers for Karam. I might try to sell him at this point now, looking at the squad, especially since we have Uar. But I'm really pleased with what we've done this offseason. We've added depth. That's what we talked about. We needed depth. Now, that comes in form of some young players that was on our reserve side. It comes in players that we've brought in. But I think we've done good. It's a little bit disappointing that we lost Moscow. I was really, really interested to see how he developed. So what do we got? Hoobs and Tat on the right-hand side. Noah being that third choice right back for us. Noah's going to be, I think we're going to play him a little bit more this season to get him. I just like his versatility, right? That we've mentioned that before. He has great versatility. Phillips, Opiemi, Max Norman Williamson. Probably wouldn't hurt to bring in another center back that's a young prospect that's actually pretty decent. That's got a lot of potential. Kind of like what we're doing with the guy on the left-hand side. I can't think of his name. Ibanez. Left-hand side, we got Ridvan, Takahashi, Ventura can play there, and Ibanez as well. Defensive mid, we got Cordoba, we got Schmitz, and we've got that other young guy that I've called up that I cannot think of his name right now off the top of my head. We've mentioned him before. Flip. We got Flip there. In the midfield, we got Bischoff, we got Cordoba. Well, Cordoba plays as our defensive mid, so he won't be really playing there. We got Bischoff, we got Semisesco, we got Aspen. I think we've got some solid players there. I don't know if we want to add another player there. I think we've got enough depth at center mid. Right wing, we got Jorge Mueller and the mixture of Kareem and the other guy. You guys know who I'm talking about. Uar. Left-hand side, Valentine's still at the club. People just came in, but he hasn't been really interested in leaving the club. And Jordan's there. Rex is there, who I'd really like to sell Rex. Ventura's there. Ragoon as well. Noah can play there. We got a lot of options on the left-hand side, don't we? Up top, we got we got Emilio, Andre, and then, we got Roy Potter, which, I mean, let's be real. He's not really the guy that I'm thinking that we may end up using there. It might be helpful to bring in another guy that can play up top. I'm leaning more toward that. I know Melier has dropped down to a 3-star player, but I mean, killed it for us last season, 7.1. I'm not really ready to move on from him. But before we continue, right? I'm not there yet. We've still got a friendly left. I'm not going to play the first round of the Pokal on screen. That's going to be me. Tomorrow's episode is going to be Bayern Munich and Hamburg. Should be a lot of fun there. I think that's going to be a big one for us. But I wanted to try something, right? So I noticed our junior coaching is not the greatest. We've made some money this season, so let us try to get that bumped up. I can never remember where this actually is. Is it networking? Finance? It's under something weird, isn't it? Yeah, increased junior coach budget. See if that works out for us. And let's go through one day to see if we can get it. I know I've got some emails there. Some scouting stuff has came back, and I need to double check some of that, but I'm just not quite ready to do that. I want to see if this comes through, though. Owen, bud, you're still there, but you're not ready, are you? Okay, let's just get through this. I don't really care. Well, there we finally have it. They rejected the junior coaching budget. So let's see if we can talk to him about it. Mm-hmm. Hey, other clubs. Okay. This is something that's really important, guys. There we go. Come on now. Let's get this bumped up a little bit. See if we can bring in some better youth prospects than what we have. I mean, that would be fantastic. So now we have excellent academy coaching. When does that take? I know it's not like immediate. When does that? How much longer does it? Okay. So it should be pretty dang soon that's happened. I've got some more stuff I want to do, and yeah, hopefully it works out. Well, unfortunately, no more business has been done. I've been looking for a center back, but so far I have struck out. I'd really like to add a fourth one to the team, but unfortunately, it hasn't played out. I'm being a little bit picky as well. I want to find a young player, probably like around 23 or younger, that has good potential and is got some decent current ability. Nothing fantastic. I don't want him to be a starter. I want him to be like a squad level player with just some potential, right? So it's been a little bit difficult. I am scouting a couple of guys, so maybe we'll get that. Maybe we'll get that solved. But we have done some things in terms of outgoing business, which isn't always great, but it is what it is. UR left the club, 1.7. Galatasaray comes in for him. Rex leaves the club, 1 mil, going to Nuremberg. Absolute bust on this player. The club signed him before we got here for 11.75, and it just never worked out for us, did he? Unfortunately for us. I mean, it's not like he's a bad player by any means. It's just he's not what we need. That's the issue with Rex. Now, if he was a little bit more capable with his right foot, we probably could have found something for him. So maybe this guy develops and turns into a decent player. He had a lot of under 21 caps when we got here, so maybe he can get back to form and get back into that area with expertise, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he can get back to playing decent enough that can be considered for the German squad at some point. Doesn't look like it to me, though. I don't see it happening. So, yeah, it's been a kind of a letdown of a transfer special for me. I was hoping to bring in some more players, better players. I just unfortunately haven't been able to. Like I really, when we sold Moskra, I really wanted to bring in another center back that I really, really thoroughly liked. And that being said, I do think Opiemi is a good player. We've just got to, get there with him. We got to play with him, see what he can do. That was like Moskra was kind of the third choice when we got here and moved him up to second. He ended up being our top guy, and we sold him for a decent profit, doubled the profit on him. So it's one of those things, and that being said, we're using a lot of our players that we haven't used in the past, guys that are on the reserve side. I know we also mentioned that we wanted to sign another striker. I think I'm going to hold off on that, because Potter had a hat trick in the last match. Obviously, a really low-level team, but he looked really good. I was really thoroughly impressed with the guy. I thought, okay, maybe we play this guy. Same with Noah. Noah looked good in this match as well. I like Noah. You guys know I like Noah. The only reason we loaned him out last season was because he got a little bit upset with me. And I was like, no, we ain't doing that today, bud. So, yeah, it's tough. It is really tough, but before we get out today, we got to do the customary check, right? We want to see, where's the season preview? I want to finish, I think, the Europa League and higher, right? That's what we want. We're trying to build this club up. I think it was in really a bad place when we took over. We made a huge step forward last year. We want to take another step forward, even if it's kind of leveling off where we finish. But in terms of money coming into the club, we can actually do a little bit more, sign some better players. You guys noticed I didn't really want to spend above 20 mil on a guy yet, but I would like to get to that point where, if we see somebody that's like world class that wants to join the club, obviously you got to keep it in respect. You can't like just go out there and spend 100 mil on a player. We're not that size of club, but if a guy comes in that's really good, like for 40 mil, I would love to get to that point where we can sign that guy. We're just not quite there yet, and I think that's what we're going to have to get to before this club takes a jump forward to try taking down Bayern Munich. But season preview, what has it got? It's got us sitting in 5th, so that is the Conference League, if I'm not mistaken, correct? No, that is the Europa League. So, hey, perfectly fine with that. Top 5 finish this season. Sounds like a good plan to me. Well, I've said it once, I'll say it again. This was a little bit of a letdown of a transfer special, but, we signed some players I think that can work out for us. Who do you think was the best? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode, though, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below, and as always, my dudes, thank you for watching.